Future Market has thousands of board games at discounted prices. Click the direct link below to see all of those discounted games. Today, it's all about the beasts, because we're going to be trying to play cards cooperatively with limited communication in order to get rid of all of our cards, but we got to watch out for the beasts, because once they come, well, they're going to make it a lot harder. Today, we're taking a look at Beasts. This is from Pandasuarus Games. This was a Gen Con release. Let me show you how this game played, and I'll see you on the other side and tell you what I think. Beasts is a cooperative card game where you're trying to get rid of all your cards collaboratively, and there are 4 different suits, same as poker suits: spades, hearts, diamonds, clubs, and they range from 1 to 9. However, there are 2 sort of variants of each suit. This is a normal club. This is a broken club. This is important. And there are beasts in the game that are going to slow your progress down, and some of these have those broken suits, like the broken heart that you see here, and they're going to make things a little bit harder. So there's 2 variations of each suit. Now collaboratively, you're trying to get rid of all your cards together and dwindle the draw deck down to nothing and play everything. So on your turn, you're going to play some cards. You're going to pick a suit, and you're going to play all the cards from your hand in any order for that suit. So the first player might just have 1 spade, and they say, club, and they're going to say, I'm going to play my only club. And they play it here. Now, this number is 002. You know, this is hundreds, this is tens, this is ones. That's the only card they had that was a spade, so that's what they played. Then they drew back up. Now, the next player says, I'm going to play all of my spades. Now, when you add a card, you can do it in any order, and you can do it in any column, but you must make sure that the number is larger. So right now we're at 2, so 002. They're going to place this, which makes it go louder. Now notice, this is a broken spade. It's still considered a spade, so you have to play it if you're playing spades. More on the broken side things later. Then I am going to go like this, which is 9. And so there's nowhere up that can go. And for the third card, what they're going to do is they're going to place this. Now, anytime you place here, you can clear all these cards. Most of the time you'll want to do it, but there's some strategic times and you might not want to do it. So now we're at 10. That player would then draw 3 cards and make sure they're back up to 5 cards. So you're slowly trying to like build up this pile, then this pile, then this pile, because if you can't play a card, the game ends and you lose. So you're trying not to play cards in the higher ones. However, if you do end up playing a card in the higher one, you can clear both of these piles, sort of resetting it down. So you're sort of going up and clearing things and trying to keep things going up as slowly as possible. Now when drawing back up, you might draw a beast or more than 1 beast. Now in the standard game, there's only 4 beasts shuffled into the entire deck. And if you get one of these when you draw it, you put it in front of you so everyone can see that, hey, my next turn, I'm going to have to play this beast and all the other clubs in my hand. Because on my next turn, if it looked like this, and that was the only club I had, you have to play it on that furthest right column. Now what this means is no one can play clubs in this specific column for the rest of the game. And the reason why the broken side of that suit matters is because if the beast I had drawn was that instead, I still would have had to play all my clubs that turn. But now, this is the beast up here. This means no one can play broken clubs here, but you can play clubs. And that's why they split the sort of suits up where a suit has 2 different variants, because it helps them with the difficulty of the game having just 4 beasts in it at the start of the game. However, at the beginning of my turn, let's say I had more than just that beast. I had other clubs. And remember, you can play things in any order. So let's say I played a broken clubs here, and I played, let's say this was the beast that had come out, was the broken club one, and I go like this. Well, if this suit matches a card here that has the same thing, it's also broken clubs. If it was clubs, nothing would happen, but because it's broken and broken, this now gets startled and comes over here. What that does is now it makes this specific column, you cannot play this. Well, you end up playing less cards from here to here, and you play less cards here than here throughout the game. So the further left you could place this, the least detrimental it will be to you. If this one also had this at the time, it would have moved here, and if this also had a broken club, you would have captured the beast and it doesn't even affect you for the rest of the game. So that's how you're trying to sort of plan for these beasts once you can tell it's coming out and trying to do this. But you're basically playing as many cards as the one suit you want. You must make the number larger, and you're trying to basically run out of all cards. You also have 3 of these as a group collectively that you can use, and you can spend one of these to discard a card because, again, if you can't play a card, you lose the game. Now, there are limited communication rules in the game. You basically can't tell them exactly what you have, but you can hint towards things like, hey, I can't play here, or I need you to clear this pile, or I have a lot of spades, or I don't have any of these. You're not allowed to tell them basically, hey, I have a 3 of this. But it's kind of vague on purpose to let you kind of tailor it to your group's preference. And that's pretty much beasts. You can change the difficulty by adding beasts or subtracting tokens. and you're trying to just run out of all the cards. All right, Pandasuarus has been smashing it out of the park for a handful of years now, and pretty much anything they put out I want to play, and there's very few publishers that I feel like that about these days, just because they're so consistent. And so I was interested because of that, but also I like limited communication cooperative card games. So another reason why I was interested in it, this one. First of all, let me tell you what I like. This game has amazing art. As you can see there, it just looks fantastic. The beasts look awesome. Even the numbers look awesome with little animals as part of the art. It's great. I like that on your turn, you're choosing a suit, and you're playing all those cards, but you get to choose the order, including the beasts. Because if you got a beast in front of you, you got to play it, but you could play some other things with it, and if you have a suit, another suit of that beast, well, you're going to be able to play that first. Then when you play the beast, it's going to be able to get startled and move over. So I like that you're choosing the order because that flexibility gives you a lot of strategies. Like, oh, I'm going to play this one here in this column. I'm going to clear it with this one, and I'm going to play this one again in this column that I just cleared, or something like that. But it really opens up the strategy. The game's pretty simple. Play all the cards of one suit, next player's turn. But there is decent amounts of strategy because of flexibility of knowing what to play when. I like you're trying to decide when to play in those higher piles or not, because as you start to take up those piles, there's no way to make them come down other than playing to a pile to the left of it and allow it to clear. So you've got to find the right time to be able to do that. And the last pile never gets cleared, so like you're really trying to slow play that one. And it's good. You're trying to figure out, hey, do I play a bunch of high stuff in this right pile, or do I go a little bit higher in this middle pile, but that's going to bring it up 2 full numbers. I'm not sure if I want to do that, because then it's going to make it go faster to the higher numbers, which means we're going to have to play something in that left column, which never gets cleared in order to clear that. So lots of, again, decision space, even though the game is simple, and I like games that have that. I like that you're trying to hold cards back for the right time, then communicating that with the limited communication. Like, hey, I can play here well in the future. Like, so maybe you have a bunch of low cards and you're trying to be like, hey, I'm going to be able to put a bunch of low ones here in the future. Clear this for me. You know, this is going to be great. Clearing piles is cool or not. You know, sometimes you don't want to clear them. Sometimes you will play a card in the middle column. You're like, hey, I don't want to clear this pile to the right because I can see you're playing next. You have a beast of that suit. And so I'm not going to clear that because we're going to startle that beast. So again, easy stuff, but good strategies, good decision space, good agency over the game. Startling the beasts, planning for that, being able to do that is fun. Either before it comes out, being able to talk about, hey, let's try to figure out a way to startle that beast. That's a lot of the strategy of trying to get them to move over, because once those things come out, it's tough. I like that you can change the difficulty with either the amount of discard tokens or the beasts, so you can ratchet the difficulty up. You can even take it down, although it doesn't really much talk about that because, you know, standard one is 4 beasts and 3 tokens. But overall, for a game that's simple, there's a lot to like about this game. Anything I didn't like about it? Well, the cards look beautiful, and the gold foil edges are beautiful, but those gold foil edges, they tend to be able to nick a little bit. Not that they're overly bad, but over the time, they're definitely going to get nicks. And if you can tell what a card is, it's not the greatest thing. So it looks great, but it could have its drawbacks over a course of time. The 6s and 9s. The number in the corner does have an indication of which way it should be, and the card only should be played one way, because if you look at the animal, it's like you can tell which way it's supposed to be, but only if you look closely. I would have liked them to have had the little indication as to what way the card goes as part of the artwork, if they could have made that look seamless but still beautiful. Because it's hard to look for that little thing to make sure you're playing. Is this a 6 or a 9? Sometimes you really have to look hard. If someone else is playing that card that wasn't the one in your hand, you got to look really closely as to what that was. Yeah, so I would have liked to see better of that. Communication. Well, it's limited. The designer specifically said that he left it pretty open-ended to allow groups to sort of cater it to their style. In all these games, you can kind of game the game. Like, you could point at a pile and say, hey, I can clear this pile. And if the pile's an 8, everyone knows you have a 9 in your hand. Or, I can't play here, right? And if that's a 2, then everyone knows that you have 2s or 1s in your hand. So there are ways to basically tell people what cards you have, even though you're not telling them what cards you have, you know. So it's a little weird sometimes, but limited communication games are like that. I do like that they basically say, hey, these are guidelines, tailor this to your group, and there you have it. So some players might not like that. I like that the flexibility is there, and I tend to like these types of games. It's definitely harder with lower player counts because you have less time to react to upcoming beasts. You know, if someone draws a beast, we have one turn to do something about it. Where if you have 4 players playing, someone draws a beast, you have 3 turns to figure out, hey, you know what? Oh, hey, I have that suit. If you leave this pile open for me, or you leave this pretty low, I'm going to be able to play this and startle that beast, and so on and so forth. So you've got a little more planning involved with higher player counts, which means you've got a little bit more, it's a little easier. Beasts, the game's a card game, right? You have 4 beasts by default. If those beasts all come out relatively early in the game is a lot harder than if they come out late. And there's nothing you can do about that. It's just a random shuffle. I do like that they allow you to play with the difficulty with the tokens and the number of beasts. But in the end, it's still a card game, and it really changes the difficulty. It might change the difficulty more than how many beasts are in there. Even adding 1 more beast is going to make it a lot more difficult. But if all those come towards the end of the game, it's probably an easier game than 4 beasts if they came out early, if that makes sense. So you got to have some randomness there as well. But overall, I really enjoy this game. I like it. It's easy to teach. It feels like a modern classic game. It feels like something that may have been out for a long time, but it looks so nice and new. It feels fresh. And for all those reasons, it's getting my highest honor, Saxophone Serenade, which means I'm keeping it in my gaming library. So here we go. Game Toppers upgrades every game you play, being the one table to rule them all with Game Toppers, leg kits, dining covers, premium game mats, and more. In their 5.0 Kickstarter, they found a way to deflate prices to pre-pandemic levels without sacrificing their quality brand, and in some cases by $200, plus dropping the shipping price as much as 50%, saving another $100. Go to GameToppersLLC.com to late pledge now.